Hey lovely people, welcome back once again to another episode of Stitches Biz Collection. I'm Miss Stitches. In this video, I'm going to share with you how to make this beautiful and cute beaded bag. Before we start, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button. Let's get started. Materials needed. So you cut your fish line and you make sure it's long enough. You cut it off using the scissors, and we are using 0.8. So you make sure you have equal ends, or you have the ends of the fish line. Then you pick 4 beads fixed on any side of the fish line, being it the right or the left fish line. Then you cross with the 4th bead. So you are crossing with the 4th bead. Then you still hold both ends to get equal length. We don't want one side to be longer than the other. Then we have our first ring. You go on and pick 3 beads. This time you fix one on the left fish line. Then you fix one on the right fish line. Then you cross with the 3rd bead. Then you pull it out. Then we have our second ring. So going on, you still pick 3 beads, fix one on the left fish line, fix one on the right fish line. Then you cross with the 3rd bead. The 3rd bead. Then we have our 3rd ring. Then you still pick 3 beads, fix one on each fish line. Then you cross with the 3rd bead. So you pick 3. Fix one on the right fish line, fix one on the left fish line, then you cross with the 3rd bead. Then we move on to the next step. So you are going to continue weaving with the same method till you get 15. So you weave till you get 15 rings. And we have it done. But when you get to the last bead to add up to 15, on this fish line or any side, you pick 3 beads, fix 2 on the left fish line. I'm taking the left fish line, so I fix 2 on the left fish line. Then I cross with the 3rd bead. So you cross with the 3rd bead. You can fix all on the left fish line, then you cross with the 3rd bead. It still doesn't matter. So we have our 15th bead. So we have the fish line 10, so we can weave to the other end. So on this fish line, you still pick 3 beads, fix 2 on the left fish line because you want to turn complete. So you fix 2 on the left fish line, then you cross with the right fish line using the 3rd bead. So we have a 10 complete. Now you go through the next bead. Then you pick 2 beads, fix one on the left fish line, then you cross with the last one, which is the last bead. Then after, you go through the next bead. Still go on and pick 2 beads, fix one on the left fish line, then you cross with the last bead using the right fish line. Then you go through the next bead again. Then you pick 2 beads, fix on the left fish line, then you cross with the last bead using the right fish line. So with the 2nd bead, then you go through the next one, still pick 2 beads on the left fish line, then you cross with the right fish line. So you are going to weave until you get to the other end with the same method. So this time when you get to the last end on this fish line, you pick 2 beads, fix one on the left fish line, then you cross with the right fish line. So we have a turn for us to go on and weave to the other side. Still on this fish line, you pick 3 beads, fix 2 on that side, then you cross with the third bead. Cross with the third bead. So we have a 10 complete. So we can weave to the other end. You go through the next bead here. Then you pick 2 beads, fix on the left fish line, then you cross with the second bead. Then you go through the next bead, then pick 2 beads on the left fish line, then you cross with the last bead. So you are going to weave till you get to this bead here, to this bead. So we have it done. Then as usual, when you get to the last end, you go through the last bead here. Then on this fish line, you pick 2 beads, fix on the right fish line this time, then you cross with the left fish line. So on the right fish line, because of how the bead has been positioned, then still on the right fish line, you pick 3 beads, fix 2 on the right fish line, then you cross with the third bead using the left fish line. Then you go through the next bead. Then you pick 2 beads on the left fish line, then you cross with the second bead. Then you go through the next bead again, then you weave to the end with the same method. So you are going to continue weaving till you get the length you want. So I'm going to weave about 16 times. That is how I want the length of my bag. So this is the exact length or size I want for my bag. You can make yours bigger if you want your bag to look big, but I want mine to be cute, so I'm okay with this size, which is 15:16. So from this size, I'm still going to take the base out of it. So 1, 2, 3, we're going to fold that side. That is going to be the base of the bag. So you fold it out this way. This is the base. And with this fish line, it's long enough, so we're going to pass it through to these 2 beads here. Then you go through this bead, then you pull it out. So we have the fish line out of both beads. Then you go on and pick 2 beads, fix on the left fish line, then you cross with the second bead. Then you go through the next bead, then you pick 2 beads again, then you fix it as well. Then you go on and weave about 8 times. Then after the 8th bead, you go through the next 2 beads, which is the 9th and 10th bead. Then you cross with 1 bead, because we already have 3 beads there, so you cross with 1 bead. So we have it now. Our fish line is short, so you have to pass it through. So you pass it through to make it firm or to lock it. So after you are done with a new fish line, you go through the next 2 beads, this bead here. So you don't go through this bead, but you go through these 2 beads here. Then after you've gone through those beads, you pick 2 beads again and fix on the left fish line. Then you cross with a second bead. So 2 beads, then you cross with the second one. So we still add up to 4. Then after, you go through this bead here, with the right fish line, you go through that bead. Then you still fix 2 beads on the left fish line, then you cross with the second bead. Then you continue weaving with the same method till you get to the end. So this time when you get to the last end, you go through the next 2 beads, then you cross with 1 bead. Then after, you go through this bead here, then you fix 2 beads on the left fish line, then you cross with the last bead, which is the second bead. Then you go through this bead, then you weave till you get to the top. So when you get to the top, you go through the next 2 beads, then you cross with 1 bead. So you already have 3, you have to cross with 1 bead, so you add up to 4. So we have it now. So we are done with this side of the bag, and with this fish line, you need to pass it through the beads. So you're going to pass it through the beads very well, especially on this side. You need to pass it at that side very well. So don't worry about this fish line. I'm going to pass everything through after I'm done, so I'll get the time to pass it through very well. So we are going to repeat the same thing on this side. What we did on the other side, I'm going to repeat it on this side as well. So please make sure you weave it well with the same method so you won't miss any, so you get the curves well. Well, we are done with both sides of the bag, and as you can see, we have the curves nicely made, and I've already passed the fish line through from this side to this bead. So to the 4th bead, you pass it through to the 4th bead. So from this side, we are going to weave around it one more time. So you pick 3 beads fixed on the left fish line, you fix 2 on the left fish line, then you cross with the 3rd bead. So it's the same method we are using to weave around it. So the same method we started with, that's the same method we are using. So don't forget, you weave till you get to the next 4th bead on the other side. So this is exactly what you should get after you are done weaving around it. So you should get the curves right, which gives us the shape of the bag. So this is one side of the bag, and I did the other side of the bag off camera. So you need to get 2 sides, and as you can see, all the sizes are equal. Everything we did on the other side of the bag is same as the one I did offline. So we are going to join it together to form the bag, but before that we need to line in first. So we are going to line it with this fabric or lining or material. You need to get any, then you line in the bag. So we are done lining the bag. Don't worry, I will drop a video soon on how I line my bags to make it this neat. So it's time for us to join to get the full bag we want. So I have enough fish line, and that is what I'm going to use. So on this fish line, you pick 2 beads, you fix 1, then with the same fish line you go through this bead, the first bead on the other side of the bag, then you cross with the second bead. Then after, with the right fish line you go through the next bead, with the left fish line you go through the next bead. Then you cross with 1 bead. You cross both fish line with 1 bead, or both sides with 1 bead. Then after, with the right fish line you go through the next bead again, with the left fish line you go through the next bead again. Then you still pick 1 bead and cross both sides with it. So this is all we are doing till we get to the other end or the other side of the bag. So you are going to weave with the same method till we are done joining both sides of the bag. So you weave to the other end, this side. So after you are done joining, this is the exact shape you should get. With this fish line, you need to pass it through. You pass it through the beads very well. So with this, we are not done yet. We need to fix a zip so we'll be able to open and close the bag easily. So we are going to fix this zip. I think it's 14 inches or 13 inches will be okay for this size of bag. So the bigger your bag, the bigger your zip, or the longer your zip. So we are going to fix it. Alright, we are done fixing our zip now, and as you can see, our bag is looking all good even though we are not done yet. So you can open and close easily. So to complete our bag, we need to fix the handle to it, or we need to attach the handle to the bag. And I already made this handle off camera. I have a video on how to make this beaded bag handle, so you can watch the video after you are done. So we are going to attach it to this side first. So with a new fish line, 1 2 3, you go through this bead. Please watch carefully the bead I'm going through. Then you pick 2 beads, fix 1 on the left fish line. Then with the same fish line, you pick the handle and go through the second bead. So counting from the bottom, we go through the second bead. Then you cross with the last bead, or you cross with 1 bead. So with the same method as we attached both sides of the bag, that is the same method we are using. So with the left fish line, you go through the next bead, and with the right fish line, you go through the next bead. Then you cross with 1 bead. You cross both fish line with 1 bead. After, with the left fish line, you go through the next bead again. With the right fish line, you go through the next bead. Then you cross both sides with 1 bead. So this is the method we are using to attach the handle. So when you get to the last end, as you can see, it has been attached to the bag. You need to pass the fish line through very well. This is the handle, so you need to pass the fish line through very well, through the beads very well. So after you are done attaching one side, you need to attach the other side as well. So with the same method, we are going to attach the other side to the bag. So please watch carefully. So if you didn't get the other side right, this side can help you to fix your handle. So when it comes to the handle, passing the fish line through the beads is very important, because the handle carries the weight of the bag, so you need to pass the fish line through the beads very well. So we are done attaching the first handle to the bag, and as you can see, it's nicely fixed. We are going to attach the second handle to the other side of the bag using the same method, but with this one I'm going to do it off camera. So we are done attaching the second side of the handle, and as you can see, our bag is now complete. So we are done with our bag. You have your zip, your handle, your lining, everything is intact. So please give this video a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my tutorials, please make sure you comment and share as well. Please follow me on